On my last episode of RV Shorts, we saw where we prepped everything for the tow. So in this episode, we're going to actually hook the truck to the actual RV, and we're going to be using a weight distribution hitch on here. So this is maybe more complicated than most people have to deal with, but it'll give you a little bit of idea of an easy weight distribution hitch system that I have on this camper. Okay, the next thing you do, if you have a backup camera and what I call a rear view mirror camera, you need to get it out, get it installed. In this case, I'm using a Garmin GPS as well, so I'm lucky I got two plugs, one in here and one in here, but you might have to get a Y out if you're using two. So got that. So next thing is we're going to disconnect all of our locking devices, and then we're going to take our jacks down and get ready to hook up. Okay, not sure what kind of weight distribution hitch you might have, or maybe you don't even have one. But in my case, I come in at a weird angle here. So what I do is I line this up kind of to compensate for that angle a little bit. Makes it a little easier for me to put my two bars on. Now, if you're lucky, you have a backwards camera like this, and mine actually has a setting where you can look straight down. So that helps out considerably when you're backing in. Also want to note that when you get to the position that you want to be and you still got your foot on the brake, you want to use your emergency brake. That keeps your car from drifting back any further, and then put it in park. Now you can see I didn't line up exactly perfect, but it's going to come down. What I want to do, because I'm sitting on a hill and I know it's not going to roll forward, so I'm going to pull the front chocks, and that way as I'm bringing that down, it'll gradually walk on top of that. So we'll have the back chocks keeping us from rolling, but that'll keep us, it'll let it go into position when as I'm bringing it down. Back of my truck is going to be up about another 6 inches or more up this high. That'll make it easier for me to put these weight distribution bars on. Now, just to get everything out of my way for putting the distribution hitch on, I'm going ahead and put my safety chains on, my electrical hookup. You want to make sure that this gets seated all the way in and it's catching right here. Sometimes you want to even wrap something around here. If you're looking a long trip, I got Velcro straps I wrap around here to make sure this doesn't fall out. So at this point, you see I've got my back of my truck up pretty high. Like I say, I'm 5'6", so put this up even with my shoulder, and it's about right. So I'll put the distribution hitches on now. Okay, once those rods are in for your hitch, for your distribution hitch there, you want to take this and crank it all the way up, level it all out. You want to check to make sure all your front chocks are pulled and everything's clear, everything's kind of tucked in. I do leave my rear chocks behind. I have extra 2 sets, so I'll leave my rear ones behind. That way I kind of know where to put it back when I bring it back to the house. So we'll get that set up and we'll see what it looks like. At the very least, you want this even with that, anything that protrudes down. maybe even a little bit higher, but you don't want that to where it's going to hit something if you hit a bump or something like that. So you want that up as high as you can get it. I'll probably go a little bit further maybe. That's pretty good. We're gonna look around the camper. We can already see one thing. I didn't put the cap down on the electrical hookup, so we'll do a good walk around and then I'll show you a quick final inside the car and we'll be ready to hit the road. Well, the number one things to do when you get done, make sure you have all your keys and all your locks, and for your whole camper, make sure you keep it in a uniform place. I keep mine on the center console of my inside of my truck. If you want to keep that in your pockets, fine, but you need to make sure you're aware of where those keys are before you leave. You do not want to get to the campsite and make sure you have these keys laying on the ground back home. It'll kind of ruin your trip in a hurry. Okay, we're in the car. I'm going to start the car up. We're going to remember to take our brake off here because we put that in. And now we're going to go into, you don't have to go in the headlights, but you get to go in at least into auto running. And that will actually kick on your rear camera there. So we're going to pull forward just a little bit to make sure we're kind of ready. Make sure our brake controller is not over braking a little bit. Tap it. It's going to grab a little bit, but I think we're good. So we're pretty much ready to hit the road. So I hope this helped you out, and we'll do a video at some point where we're disconnecting everything too. So we'll get back with you on that, and if you have anything else to add to this, add it into the comments, and we hope to see you out there on the road somewhere.